Well, hello everyone. Welcome back to Vickie's Country Home. It's really bright out here. I have to wear my hat or just it's too hot and sunburn, it's not worth it. So today it's beautiful. Look at that sky. Finally, there's no smoke today. If there is, it's a tiny bit of haze, but not too bad. So it's a good day to go out for a walk, go do a little work just little things that need to be done to keep things safe and to keep the weeds from being horrible next year. So we're going to go for a walk. And I've got my little dog Buster with me. He thinks he's my protector, but he needs a job. So today, this is his job. It is so bright, I'm going to have to wear my sunglasses, but you won't be looking at me that much, so that's probably a good thing. But it's just beautiful, and it's nice, comfortable temperature today. I don't know, it'll probably get in the upper 80s, maybe low 90s, but it's just beautiful. And as I said, the sky is blue. There's a little bit of a breeze. And it's just a gorgeous day to be out walking. So let me turn you around so you can get a little idea. This is just walking out my driveway. And I just love this valley. It's just peaceful, it's quiet. Road dead ends right up there. It's just it's peaceful. We have wonderful neighbors. And like I showed in my video last week, there's good, bad, and ugly. And part of that is this dry grass. It's actually a weed called cheatgrass, and it's not native, but it's horrible. This stuff, when it catches fire, burns so fast, so hot, it just makes wildfire spread like crazy. So you'll see right here, this has all been mowed down to about 50 to 60 feet from our house. It's not foolproof, but it sure does help when there's a wildfire because it gives our firefighters something to work with. And it's just beautiful. And not many trees. We have a few junipers, mostly down there in the dry wash, that I'll show you a little bit more, but mostly it's just weeds, which that's natural for here. We have sagebrush out there, and we keep that away from the house because it's a fire danger. And this is the dry wash that runs across a little bit of our property. And it is so huge, you can't even imagine it in this video. For such a dry place, and the drainage, it's mostly for drainage off of these mountains, just right here. But that is probably 30 to 40 feet deep. And easily 80 feet across at this point. It's huge. I'm going to walk a little bit into the weeds, but I'm very cautious because we still have snakes. And unfortunately, this dog has not been through snake avoidance training because it's no longer available in our county. I'll go into that more. It's a sore subject. But it's one of the things that I love about our property. It's not just flat. We have this going through the center. It's deep. There is no water running through it. We occasionally will get runoff if we have extremely heavy rains. Down there at the very bottom, you can see where the rocks are, where the water drains through. But I would say in the 13, 14 years we've owned this property, I've seen it do that under 10 times. It really takes a lot of rain or snowmelt to cause water to flow through that. And this meets up with the creek down there where all those trees are. But that old tree right there, it's very, very old juniper. I don't even know how long. Half dead, but I absolutely love it. It just stood out when I looked at this land. That was what stood out to me. But back to the snake avoidance training. When we first started building our house, we hired someone to come out here and do snake avoidance training, and we invited a lot of neighbors, so it was a pretty big group. And out here in this field, there were, I don't know, 4 or 5 cages with different types of rattlesnakes from all over. And they were securely caged, and these people take really good care of their snakes. They wouldn't allow them to get stressed. Think about that. They wanted us to keep them misted and hydrated so that they wouldn't overheat in those little cages, because that's not normal for them. But you would walk your dog alongside those cages on a leash, and they had a shock collar. And if they showed attention to those snakes, they would be zapped. Sounds cruel, but believe me, seeing dogs that have been bitten by these things is much more cruel. So you walked them past until they wouldn't respond. In fact, they would pull away from the cages. And it was extremely effective. But now our county has decided, the county animal control, and the county also voted to outlaw that because it's not safe. It's a danger to the public to carry exotic animals in cages through our county. Our county is huge, and it's just a tiny bit populated. Most of it is open country, just like this, which is home to rattlesnakes. So, because they have not allowed this training here, you have to travel 50 miles or more to another county to get trained. And that's if you can get in the classes, because they're overbooked. So, thanks to our county, we have had a lot of close calls with dogs and rattlesnakes. But about 2 or 3 weeks ago, our pastor's dog got bitten twice in the nose by a rattlesnake. At well over $1,000 later, and flesh coming off the poor animal's face, they are still dealing with the effects of not being able to train their dog. It's so sad and short-sighted that people in a very small area that is highly populated control a very, very large area that is very rural, and we have dangers they have no clue of. It's sad. This is down at the end of my driveway. That's where the dry wash crosses under the road. Giant sagebrush. Not giant, not like in New Mexico and Arizona, but for here, that's pretty large. More junipers, especially down here. We have some areas out here. This was primarily, I believe, Paiute and Washoe tribes that lived and hunted out in this area, gathered. We have some beautiful petroglyphs We keep them very private because we don't want anybody to come out and damage them, but we enjoy going to look at them. But it's just so peaceful. All I hear right now, besides us, is an airplane way off in the distance. Let's open this gate and go out on the road. One of the things I'm out here today to do is this strip of weeds through the middle of our road. These, my dog's pulling on me, he's exploring. Aren't you, Buster? These are Russian thistle, and they are horrible. They are thorns. They're not native. A lot of the weeds we have here were introduced mostly by cattle that were dumped out here to graze on private land. This is not BLM out here. And some were from birds, but a lot of these came from the cows, and it's a constant battle. So whenever these things grow, we try and get out and pull them up and get rid of them. Unfortunately, with all the smoke this year and the heat, we just didn't get out because it was not healthy. So today I'm going to be pulling or cutting, if I need to, these horrible thorny bushes. And you can see over here they get pretty large. The other problem with these right here, if you'll see how dry they are, they're scraping under the bottom of our cars, which it's not going to hurt the car, but if they hit the tailpipe and it's hot, these things could light on fire in an instant, and obviously that's a really bad thing for us. So, and these things are horrible too, but that's not for today. These have got to get pulled, especially here in the middle of the road. So I'm going to turn you off, put on my leather gloves, and get out my clippers for when they're needed. And I'm going to get these off of our road. Yay! I got all of them out of the center. I still have the ones on the sides, but we can come out and trim those down too. These are the ones that worried me. And I just throw them down in the dry wash because they're not likely to blow seeds much out of there because of the depth. So that's one job down. And this is from our road, looking through the dry wash. And again, you probably can't tell how deep and wide because depth perception out here in the desert is pretty much off. But it really is huge. And that's my house, just peeking from behind back there. And all those hills back there in the back that are brown, those were all burned. To right there. We were so fortunate. This is just a short ways off the road. I don't know if you can see them, but those are wild horses. Some people say they're feral, and some may have been, but they've all interbred and they are wild. They're not tame. You can't get near them. That guy right there is keeping a close eye on us, so I'm keeping my distance. But we love them and we appreciate them, and it's always a special day when you see the horses. There's the long view of our valley. I love this place. Yes, it's not easy, but I love it. And that helicopter, I don't know if you can see it, just passing straight in front of me, is probably heading to Burning Man. It's kind of a bane of our existence. We don't appreciate it, but a lot of people do. But it's become a rich man's thing, and they will fly in from around the world, helicopter in to some fancy RVs, and stay out in the Black Rock Desert. But to each their own. I'm glad there's some distance between us. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little walkabout with us on our little piece of heaven here in the high desert. And I hope you enjoyed it and got to see a little bit more of what we deal with every day. It's completely worth it, or we wouldn't do it. These little bunches of grapes are all I have left from the grasshoppers, but you know what? I'm so thankful. Thank you for watching, and I'm so glad you came by. God bless, and we will talk again soon.